Bookings slow down, you look at your expenses, and marketing is one of the biggest line items on the sheet. So the thought creeps in. Maybe we pause for a few months, maybe we can just ride this out and save some money. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why cutting your marketing costs during low season is one of the worst possible moves you can make in your business. We're going to break down 3 things. First, how to properly understand your ROAS or return on ad spend and marketing efficiency so you actually know whether your ads are working instead of guessing. Second, why low season often is when marketing becomes more efficient, not less. And third, how stopping your marketing resets your momentum and quietly gives market share to your competitors. If you don't understand the numbers behind your marketing, it's very easy to see it as an expense. But when you do understand it, how it actually translates to bookings and revenue, you start seeing differently. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Rydell from Serve Marketing, and we've helped over 120 hospitality businesses scale across Australia and beyond, helping them generate consistent bookings and online orders through paid ads, database marketing, and structured campaigns. Everything I'm going to talk about in this video comes from real campaigns, real numbers, and what we've seen happen when venues either stay consistent or pull back. So let's get straight into it. Why it's important to understand ROAS plus the marketing efficiency ratio. Without wanting to understand how advertising dollars work, this is going to be very tough for you to justify and get the clarity of continuing the investment on marketing and advertising. It's also important to note that it's a more efficient measure of return to base it off ROAS rather than ROI. ROI comes later and it includes the service fee. So if you're working with a marketing agency, whereas ROAS is direct reality of how effective the ads are, plus the campaigns and the offers. Money in equals money out. Ad spend versus bookings and ad spend versus online orders. Very easy to track and justify. For example, if you had an ad spend of $500 and that brought in 50 bookings, that's a cost of result of $10, which means for every $10 you spend, you brought in a booking. And now if your average packs per booking is, let's say, 3 people and the average spend is $50 per person, you now multiply 50 times 3 times 50, which is 7,500. You've now turned $500 of ad spend to 7,500. A ROAS of 15x, which means for every dollar you spent on ads, you got $15 back. Pretty good, right? I mean, of course, this is an approximation, but it's very close, more or less. You can just check your POS system for that period and cross-track the bookings and their spend if you get the chance. But you get the bigger picture. Now, the latter is if you don't know this and you just see that you've spent $500 on ads plus the service fee of an agency for the month, depending on what they deliver, you will then think that you've spent so much on marketing and this is the first thing that needs to be cut off now on a slow period. Then you're digging yourself a hole. The goal of a business isn't to actually save as much money as possible. It's to make as much money as possible, and that starts with marketing. There is no business that grows consistently and predictably without marketing, and the reason you are probably struggling today is because you refuse to accept this and you refuse to learn the core concepts and understand it. It's not a set and forget. The best clients we've had actually understood the mechanics and the numbers and then trusted us, and that's exactly why they win. Component number 2 is why low season is when you should be leaning in, not pulling back. See, this is where most hospitality owners make the wrong move. Low season comes in, bookings slow down, and then the first instinct is to start cutting costs. And marketing is usually one of the first things to go because on paper, it looks like an expense that can be paused. But this is exactly when you need it the most. See, when low season hits, most venues pull back, which means competition in the advertising space drops. Your CPMs can drop, attention becomes cheaper, and then there's less noise in the market. And if you understand your numbers from component number 1, this is where you can actually increase your efficiency. Because now you're not fighting 10 competitors for the same customer, you might be fighting 3. And if you pull back at the same time, everyone else pulls back. You disappear, you go quiet, you lose mental real estate. And the one venue that decides to stay consistent and is the one that captures the demand is the one that still exists. See, customers don't disappear in low season, they just become more selective. So the question becomes, do you want to be the venue that shows up consistently in their feed and inbox, or the one that they forgot about because you decided to save money? Low season is not the time to shut off acquisition. It's the time to double down on smart offers, database growth, and staying visible. Because when everyone retreats, the operator who understands the game advances. And if you cut marketing without understanding this dynamic, you're not protecting your business. You're handing market share to the competitor who stayed in the game. Component number 3, marketing is momentum, and momentum is very expensive to rebuild. One thing most owners don't realize is that marketing is not just about this week's bookings. It's about what you're building in the background. So every time you run ads, every time you push an offer, every time someone engages with your content, you are building data and you are building audiences. You're building retargeting pools, you're building a database, you're feeding the algorithm, you're strengthening your brand memory in the customer's mind. That doesn't happen overnight, it compounds. Now, what happens when you cut marketing for 2 to 3 months during low season? Your ads stop, your pixel stops learning, your retargeting audience stops growing, your database slows down, and your brand goes quiet. And when high season comes, you're not picking up where you left off. You're starting from zero again. Meanwhile, the competitor who stayed consistent has more data, has more reviews, a bigger database, stronger audiences, and better optimization. There's also more familiarity in the market. You see, marketing works like momentum in the gym. If you train consistently for 6 months, your body adapts, strength compounds, and then results stack. If you stop for 3 months, you don't maintain that same level. You lose conditioning, you lose the rhythm, and when you come back, it takes time to rebuild. It is exactly the same with marketing. Consistency builds efficiency, and stopping just resets the efficiency. And that reset is actually more expensive than just staying consistent in the first place. Cutting marketing is a fee-based move, not a strategic one. Let's be honest, most of the time when marketing gets cut, it's not because the numbers don't make sense, it's because the cash feels tight. And when the cash feels tight, the instinct is to reduce expenses as fast as possible. You open up the spending sheet, you scan for the biggest line items, and then marketing stands out. But the goal of a business isn't to save as much money as possible. The goal is to make as much profitable revenue as possible. And there's a big difference. If your marketing is profitable and you cut it, you're not reducing risk. You're reducing opportunity. That's like turning off a tap that's pouring water into your bucket because you're scared the water bill might be high. If the tap is profitable, you don't turn it off. You optimize it, you control it, you scale it responsibly, because cutting marketing without understanding ROAS, without understanding your cost per booking, without understanding lifetime value, it isn't strategy, that's just reaction. And in chess, you don't remove pieces from the board because you're nervous. Every move is intentional, it's calculated, it's based on position, timing, and long-term advantage. Marketing is exactly the same. If it's not working, fix the offer, fix the targeting, fix the funnel, fix the follow-ups, but don't remove the engine that drives the revenue and then expect the car to move. Because venues that grow consistently aren't the ones who panic in low season. They're the ones who understand the numbers, stay in the game, and play long-term. And long-term always beats emotional decisions. So if you found this helpful, subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep breaking down how marketing actually works in hospitality, the numbers behind it, the strategy behind it, and how to make it predictable instead of emotional. And if you're unsure whether your current marketing is actually working or you're heading into a slower period and don't know what the right move is, go to servemarketing.com.au and book a call with us. We'll go through your current setup, your numbers, your offers, and see what's actually happening in your business. If there's an opportunity to improve it, we'll show you. If something needs adjusting, we'll also tell you as well. And at the end of the day, this isn't about spending more. It's about understanding what works and making decisions based on that. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.